You've been lied to about manifestation. The entire self-help industry sold you a fantasy that doesn't work for 99% of people. They tell you you can manifest anything if you just believe hard enough. But that's complete BS. The reason manifestation fails is because it ignores your unique energetic blueprint and the specific lessons you are actually here to learn. You cannot manifest everything you want if it's not meant for you. Every person has different tasks and energetic abilities. This video explains why the one-size-fits-all approach is lazy advice that keeps you stuck. We are replacing that fantasy with practical energetic alignment based on your actual path. Listen, the problem isn't you failing at manifestation. The problem is manifestation failing you because it's based on a flawed premise from the start. The biggest lie in the spiritual community is this idea that the universe is like an Amazon wish list. You just add your desire to the cart, visualize it, and wait for delivery. That's not how life works. Your current desires often conflict directly with your soul's actual lessons. Think about it. When you are trying to manifest something, you're operating from your conscious mind, from your ego. But your life path has specific curriculum that your soul signed up for. Forcing outcomes creates massive resistance and frustration because you're essentially fighting against your own growth plan. The danger here is believing you know better than your life path. That's arrogance, not spirituality. Real growth requires accepting what you actually need for your evolution, not what your ego wants for temporary comfort. This toxic positivity ignores the fundamental law of polarity. Life has plus and minus energies. You can't have constant plus without understanding and moving through the minus. The universe gives you what you need for your development, not what you want for your pleasure. When you try to manifest against your blueprint, you create internal conflict. Your subconscious knows what lessons are pending. It creates blocks because those blocks are protection mechanisms. They're there to prevent you from skipping essential growth stages. If you could manifest your ideal life right now, you would miss the very experiences that make you who you are meant to become. The people who seem to manifest successfully are usually just aligning with their natural timing. They're in a phase where their desires match their current lessons. But when you are in a learning phase trying to manifest a mastery outcome, it will never work. That's why blanket manifestation advice is so destructive. It makes people feel like failures when they are actually just in a different season of their growth. The universe isn't rejecting you, it's redirecting you toward what actually serves your highest good. Every person has a unique energetic blueprint. This isn't some mystical concept. It is visible through systems like numerology and astrology when understood properly. Your blueprint shows your actual life stages, your dominant energies, and the specific lessons you are here to master. Most importantly, it reveals timing. You can look at your numerological analysis and see different periods in your life where certain energies become dominant. You can see when big changes will happen naturally. You can identify windows when financial opportunities are most likely to appear. These insights often completely contradict what you are currently demanding from the universe. For example, you might be shouting, "I am rich now, I drive a Bentley and live in Miami," while your blueprint shows you are in a patience and relationship building phase. Your needs don't match your current energies. That's why manifestation fails. Your blueprint also shows what you need to focus on most right now. The biggest manifestation you can achieve is solving your current lesson, not the end result of a perfect life where you have no problems. That fantasy is what keeps people stuck. When you study your blueprint, you see the step-by-step progression of your life. You stop trying to rush the timeline. You start becoming present in the moment. This presence is actually the most powerful manifestation possible because it aligns you with what's actually available now. Rushing the timeline guarantees failure and burnout. I've seen people destroy years of progress because they tried to manifest what wasn't available in their current season. Your blueprint has natural rhythms. There are times for action and times for integration, times for external achievement and times for internal healing. Fighting against these rhythms is like swimming against a current. You exhaust yourself without making real progress. The truth they won't tell you is that your life has an intelligent design. Your desires are often distractions from what you actually need to work on. When you understand your blueprint, you stop wasting energy on manifestations that were never meant for this chapter of your life. You start working with your natural flow rather than against it. This is how you actually create sustainable change instead of temporary highs followed by deeper frustration. Your blueprint isn't a limitation, it's a roadmap to what's truly possible for you specifically. Not what's possible for some guru or influencer, but what's authentically available on your unique path. That's the truth about real manifestation. It's not about getting everything you want, it's about becoming everything you are meant to be. And that requires honoring your individual design rather than following generic advice that ignores your actual life purpose. The 3 examples where manifestation fails. Let's look at 3 specific areas where this blueprint mismatch causes manifestation to completely fail. First, money. You cannot manifest wealth during a phase that's intended for you to learn something completely different. If your numerological chart shows you are in a learning and foundation building year, but you are trying to manifest sudden financial windfalls, you are fighting your own energy. The universe will give you opportunities to learn about money management, maybe through challenges or limited resources, because that's the lesson you need right now. Trying to manifest a Bentley when your current lesson is about valuing what you actually have is like trying to run before you can even walk. The financial opportunities that do come will be aligned with your growth stage. Maybe a chance to develop a new skill that will pay off later, not a lottery win. Second, relationships. Partners come into your life for specific lessons, not for your ideal fantasy. You might be trying to manifest your perfect soulmate, who checks all your boxes, but your blueprint shows you are in a phase of learning independence or healing past relationship patterns. The people who actually appear will reflect what you need to work on, not what you want to experience. If you have trust issues, you will attract people who test your trust. If you need to learn boundaries, you will attract people who push them. The universe gives you what you need for growth, not what you want for comfort. Trying to manifest your ideal partner against this energy is like trying to plant summer flowers in winter. The conditions just aren't right. Third, career. Your professional path unfolds in stages, not in instant success. If you are in an early career phase focused on skill acquisition, trying to manifest CEO status will create frustration. Your blueprint might show that your leadership phase comes after a period of mastering your craft. Rushing this timeline means you will miss essential learning that would make you an effective leader later. Each of these examples show the same pattern. Your conscious desires conflict with your soul's curriculum. The universe gives you what you need for your evolution, not what your ego wants for immediate gratification. This is why generic manifestation advice is so dangerous. It encourages people to force outcomes that aren't aligned with their actual life path. The resistance you feel isn't the universe saying no to you personally. It is higher self protecting you from skipping essential lessons. When you understand this, you stop seeing manifestation failures as personal shortcomings and start recognizing them as redirections toward what you actually need. Now, how do you actually read your own energetic blueprint? This is where we move from theory to practical action. You don't need to be an expert numerologist to start understanding your basic life patterns. First, use free online numerology calculators. Start with your life path number and your destiny number. These are calculated from your birth date and your full birth name. Just search for free numerology calculator and input your information. But here's the key. Don't just use one system. Try different methods. Look at Pythagorean numerology, Chaldean numerology, and the soul matrix. Each system gives you slightly different angles on the same core patterns. Write down everything these calculators tell you about your life path stages, your challenges, your opportunities. Create a simple document or notebook where you collect all this information. The next step is crucial. Look for patterns and recurring themes across the different readings. If one calculator says you are in a learning phase and another mentions patience and foundation building, that's a strong signal. If multiple sources highlight relationship lessons or career development periods, pay attention to those overlaps. The online calculators aren't always perfectly accurate, but when several point to the same themes, you're likely seeing your actual blueprint emerging. Once you have this raw data, you can use tools like ChatGPT to help interpret the numbers and meanings. But be careful here. Don't take everything that AI says as absolute truth. Tell it something like, interpret the numerology number 7 in the context of life path and destiny numbers 3 and 5. Use it as a research assistant, not as a final authority. The AI can sometimes try to match your previous conversations or create coherent but generic interpretations. Your intuition is your final filter. After gathering all this information, your main task is to identify your current life stage and its primary lesson. Look at the patterns and ask yourself, what energy is most dominant right now based on my age and current life period? Most numerology systems have cycles, like personal years or life path periods. Figure out where you are in these cycles. Then map your current desires against what your blueprint actually allows. This is where you'll see why some goals feel impossible right now. If your blueprint shows and you understand that you are in a minus phase focused on internal work, but you're trying to manifest external success, you'll understand the resistance. The blueprint reveals the natural timing for different types of achievements. You might see that financial opportunities are more likely in a certain year, or relationship growth in another period. This isn't about limiting yourself. It's about working with your natural rhythm instead of against it. When you understand your blueprint, you stop wasting energy on manifestations that have zero chance of working in your current season. You start focusing on what's actually available now, which is always the most powerful place to manifest from. This practical approach turns vague spiritual concepts into actionable self-knowledge. You are not just following someone else's system, you are decoding your own unique life design. And that's how you move from frustrated manifestor to aligned creator. You work with your actual energy instead of trying to force energy that isn't available to you yet. This process alone will save you years of struggle and disappointment. Because once you see the mismatch between what you want and what's actually on your path, everything starts making sense. The blocks, the resistance, the manifestations that never happen, they're not failures. They're course corrections pointing you toward your real work. And that real work is always about becoming who you are meant to be, not getting what you think you want. This understanding is the foundation of true spiritual power. It's not about controlling the universe. It's about cooperating with your own divine plan. And that cooperation begins with reading the blueprint you were born with. Most people never even look at their blueprint. They just keep trying to build a life based on someone else's design. But your life has its own architecture. Learning to read it is the first step toward living in alignment rather than constant resistance. This isn't complicated spirituality, it's practical self-awareness. You gather data, look for patterns, and adjust your actions accordingly. The tools are available to everyone. The willingness to look honestly at your actual path instead of your fantasy path, that's what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. And this practical approach is what we will build on in the next section, where we talk about what real manifestation looks like when you are working with your blueprint instead of against it. So now you understand why generic manifestation fails. The real work begins when you stop trying to manifest specific outcomes and start aligning with the actual energies available to you right now. Your biggest and most important manifestation isn't some distant fantasy. It's solving the lesson that's directly in front of you. That is what your blueprint is pointing toward. When you focus on that, everything else starts falling into place naturally. You stop living in a future that doesn't exist yet and start becoming present in the moment. This presence is incredibly powerful because it's where actual change happens. The fantasy of a perfect life where you have no problems is just an escape from doing the real work. True power comes from understanding your specific tasks and embracing them fully. You work with your blueprint instead of fighting against it. You embrace the duality of life, the plus and minus energies. There are times for expansion and times for contraction. Both are necessary. Trying to manifest only plus energy is like trying to only breathe in without ever breathing out. It doesn't work. The real manifestation is becoming the person who can handle what's next on your path. It's developing the skills, the patience, the understanding that your current lesson requires. When you do that, the external circumstances naturally shift to match your internal growth. This is how the universe actually works. It responds to who you become, not what you want. Your desires will change as you grow. What you think you want now might seem irrelevant once you've mastered your current challenges. That's why focusing on the end result is a trap. The journey is the destination. Your blueprint shows you the curriculum. Your job is to show up for class and do the work, not skip to the final exam hoping for a good grade. That's what real manifestation looks like. Showing up fully for your life as it is, not as you wish it were. This shift in perspective changes everything. You stop seeing resistance as failure and start seeing it as guidance. You understand that if something that isn't working, it's probably not meant to work right now. Your energy is better spent on what is available. This doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means understanding the right timing and sequence for them. Your blueprint reveals that sequence. When you align with it, manifestation becomes effortless because you're no longer pushing against the current. You're flowing with it. And flowing with your natural current is how you actually get to where you are meant to be. Faster and with less struggle than forcing something that wasn't ready to manifest. So, what does this look like in practice? You need a new framework. Replace those empty affirmations with aligned action based on what your blueprint actually says. If your chart indicates you are in a learning phase, your action step is to focus on education and skill development, not obsessing over income. Go take a course, read books in your field, build your knowledge base. That's the manifestation that will pay off later. If your blueprint shows that relationships in this period are for growth and learning, your action is to embrace the difficult lessons they bring. Work on your communication. Heal your attachment patterns. That's the real work. Don't try to manifest a perfect partner while avoiding the personal development required to sustain a healthy relationship. Your subconscious blocks exist for a reason. They are not something to bulldoze through with positive thinking. They're indicators of unfinished lessons. Respect them. Explore them. Understand what they are protecting you from or what growth they are pointing toward. Manifestation becomes truly effortless when you stop trying to manifest and start flowing with your path. This is how you actually get what's truly meant for you. The framework is simple but requires honesty. First, identify your current primary lesson from your blueprint analysis. Second, design actions that directly address the lesson. Third, release attachment to specific outcomes and focus on the quality of your engagement with the process. For example, if your lesson is patience, your action might be to deliberately slow down your decision making. If your lesson is self-worth, your action might be to set better boundaries at work. These are tangible, energetic actions that create real change. They're based on your actual needs, not societal pressures or comparison to others. This framework respects your individual timing. It acknowledges that everyone's path unfolds differently. What works for you, for your friend, might be completely wrong for you right now. And that's okay. The goal isn't to keep up with anyone else's timeline. The goal is to master your own curriculum as it presents itself. This approach transforms manifestation from a stressful exercise in magical thinking into practical process of conscious evolution. You are not waiting for the universe to deliver your order. You are cooperating with it to become the person capable of receiving what's actually available for you. That's the key difference. Most manifestation advice tells you to change your vibration to attract what you want. This approach says, understand your current vibration and work with it to evolve naturally. One creates resistance, the other creates flow. And flow is where real magic happens. Not the magic of getting everything you want, but the magic of becoming everything you are capable of being. That's a manifestation worth working for. Manifestation fails because it's based on wanting, not growing. Your life has specific lessons that cannot be skipped, no matter how many vision boards you create. The real work isn't about convincing the universe to give you what you desire. It's about understanding your unique blueprint and courageously aligning with it. That alignment is the only true path to getting what is authentically meant for you. If you want to learn how to work with your actual energies instead of against them, check the description for resources. See you in the next video.